Hey guys, Nuccio back with an update to my Realm of Chaos map. So if you want to see these maps, again, if you're new to the channel, go to my website, nuccioafricanus.com, and then you can scroll down to Warhammer 3 Map Generator Beta. You can go and then click on any version here. You can also see our Warhammer 3's version of the Mortal Empires that we're working on. And yeah, that's how you can see them. Basically, launch this puppy up. And you can edit it how you want, save it, say, I think you're wrong, change it this way or that way. Kind of the idea here. Also, I forgot to kind of mention just really quickly, if you want to see, you can also take some of my save files from games, from my campaigns, put it into your PC and, start play from where I left off. I feel like I had more here, but perhaps not. Anyway, going back to the map. So I was able to add a couple more things, basically from looking through, from having the information that Age of Sigmar, a lot of new content for Warhammer 3 is going to come from there. So I was able to find a lot more stuff to give to Slaanesh down here. If we look at here, gave him 6 more realms, Domain of Anguish, Domain of Hedonism, Domain of Depravity, Domain of Excess, Domain of Sensation, and Domain of Pleasure. So he's kind of up there with the other Chaos Gods. Another thing too is I know a lot of people are like, whoa, like you're making a Realm of Chaos. Like you kind of are making it as if like you can go there and interact with it. I don't know about that. Well, luckily we have a lot more information. That's why I'm updating it. I'm also just trying to get everyone caught up. So before the big reveal tomorrow, at some time, I'll show you what I've learned from the recent leaks and updates and what I think is going to happen to the Chaos Realm specifically. So to begin with, let's look at this video on Twitter. So let's do this. Okay.
Hello, Total War Warhammer fans. The moment you have been waiting for has almost arrived. Join us for the world premiere of some brand new Total War Warhammer 3 battle gameplay and a new cinematic trailer. Get ready to conquer your demons as we invade the realms of chaos. We can't wait to see you there.
So you heard her right. That is a battle of Kislev, the Tsarina, Katarina, invading the realms of chaos. Basically, more specifically, Khorne. And we saw, if we look at here, we can see this is the realm of chaos with the Khorne climate. And again, if you're new to the channel and you haven't seen the last episode, if we go here, we turn off provinces. Let's go to tools, let's go to climates. All the chaos gods, like in this struggle, Khorne, Tzeentch, Nurgle, and Slaanesh, they're going to have their own climates. So in this case, this looks very Cornish to me. Everything's on fire. It's just really rage-filled, basically just spiky, just really raw. But if you can imagine, Nurgle will have a climate, like the land will look like pestilence and death. Tzeentch will have land where it becomes crystals, and as they conquer these territories from each other, their climate is actually going to become that land. So if like Khorne took over the Blazing Rampart, it would start to like be lit on fire, and the skies would just rain with fury, and the land would just become like decrepit like ash, just kind of like we saw in the pictures. So not quite sure what happens, though, if you're Kislev, say, and you come in and you conquer the area. But I guess we'll probably find out more about that tomorrow, as this lady, Frankie Ward, she will be hosting an event tomorrow, and it seems like, and that will be pretty fun to see. You might even be watching that before you watch this, and we'll probably have a lot more information from that. And so from there, I was a little bit more bold. So I put a couple more markers. So we do know that there is going to be at least a quest battle, if not like, here. Salt on the Brass Citadel. Also that territory that I think will be shown May 13th tomorrow. It will take place with Kislev in the Brass Citadel. And also, I think that it's fair enough. I put a gate, like a Kislev gate. There's a way Kislev can get to this territory. So I think those markers are fair to add as well as those territories. And then I'm going to go here. I also put an Elven gate for Morai. I believe the elves will be able to get to this territory in some way, somehow. That's my opinion. Obviously, I think I've made the font a little bit bigger so you can read these territories a little bit better. And yeah, that's what we have so far. So I have some other predictions about the actual Chaos Gods themselves and how they're going to be portrayed in here and how you're going to interact with them. But before I give you that revelation, let's just watch this trailer, and then we can go from there. And you see, here, once again.
Kislev. The motherland has turned her back on us. Exiled to a wasted land. Brothers and sisters betrayed. Whilst the meek cling to power. Is it just? To be the bulwark the world relies on? Does it make us weak? To witness endless loss? Falter. No. We are molded by it. Forged hot against an anvil of ice. Rage consumes us. From the fire, we rise again.
So just going into that end scene with, you see Korn basically right here. There's lots to talk about in this video. Could, this lady here with the bear, could she be a type of hero or agent? Those new units, that Frost Wolf and the Bear Cav and, the monstrous Ice Bear unit. Kislev's roster is looking really fierce, really interesting. Definitely not just a clone of Empire with some bears mixed in. Looks very cool. But the thing is, again, I don't think you're watching my channel right now for that information. I think there's better people than me who can talk about those individual units. I think why you're watching me is because my predictions have been pretty good thus far. And this is for the grand scheme types of stuff. And now watching this, I'm thinking that the Chaos Gods will be very similar. Basically, I feel like they might have been inspired by Stranger Things a bit, if you know what I'm talking about. So basically, he's not like a god, but he's more like a demigod, this Shadow King, whatever. he has like, you can kind of see him once if you've been infected by, let's say, like in this case, like the Stranger Things version of Chaos, and you can see him kind of like on the horizon and his influence over the area. And I imagine like as Chaos conquers areas, perhaps you'll see like Khorne or Nurgle and their position like this in the Chaos realm, or even perhaps in the mortal plane in this manner. But I don't know if you'll actually see them as a unit on the battlefield. And I think that kind of makes sense. It's like not super hokey dokey, kind of gimmicky, where you have like, some tuned version of like a god, in mortal plane, in a mortal like way. But it really gives a lot of depth to the game. It gives a lot of fear, and it gives a lot of immersion, because sometimes I think the Chaos Gods will be even more scary to play against like this, because sometimes like in a horror movie, like the less you show, like the scarier it is. It's not like in an alien movie, like the first scene, they're like, this is the alien, like you have to like go through the journey and then it just jumps out at you. And I think in this way, it kind of keeps the gods a little bit in the background, but like not too much in your face. And so it kind of gives them a little bit more mystery, a little bit more, I don't know, that something. And I also, this is a bigger speculation. I think this is Yuri in this video. I think he gets corrupted, or he is possibly going to get corrupted as an option. Or there might be I don't know if he'll be a playable character for Khorne, but it's very clear in my mind, if you kind of follow his like psychosis through this, of not psychosis, but his fall into chaos through anger. And that's how probably Khorne corrupts people. And it makes me wonder, I hope maybe I can get started over with this. So, some of you have heard me talk about this before, but if you've watched my Troy videos, before Troy was released, I talked about how Troy was part of CA's, overall marketing strategy. And part of that strategy was the Chinese market. And I think after we've seen the inclusion of Cathay, even though it's a great inclusion, I think that is part of CA's strategy. I think it's a good strategy. If you see my Troy videos, you understand my reasoning behind it and why it's good for the Total War series. But also in those series, I do say that they're going to include a lot of aspects from Three Kingdoms into Warhammer 3, or at least I thought so. And I'm wondering from this video and from the story of who was this called Yuri, if part of what they're going to put in Warhammer 3 is a more detailed relationships with characters. And one of those detailed relationships perhaps is their emotions. And why would I think that? So it's very obvious in this video, and it could just be for flavor, that Yuri is corrupted by anger. Basically, if you know a little bit about Kislev, they're a weird society that is kind of like a Soviet style, like Tsardom. And by Soviet, I mean like they have a main culture, the Gospodars, which would be like the equivalent of like Russians. And they basically kind of dominate a bunch of other clans and cultures that are, united by a common idea called Kislev. But Kislev isn't really a race or a people. It's just like the Soviet Union isn't. It might be Russian dominated, but the Soviet Union wasn't Russian. I don't mean communist. I just mean like the power dynamics. And so there's like Ungals, which is what Yuri is, and he's like they're a dominated people by the Gospodars. There's also like gypsy-like people, like circus clans and people, all types of people in Kislev, and it'll be really interesting. And it's a different system. And again, on a side note, I know there's a lot of people on Reddit, and they're really mad that if they're Polish or Russian, vice versa, like they're not mad, they're kind of disappointed rather that Kislev isn't decidedly Russian or Polish, but there's just seems to be a lot of influence from Russian and Polish and Ukrainian and Slavic and even gypsies and different cultures like that. And I understand, like, you know, the Empire is decidedly German. The Bretonia is decidedly French. You know, Estelia is decidedly, you know, Mediterranean or Spanish. And obviously the Skaven is decidedly British. But that last one was a little bit of a joke. But you know, anyway, the point is you see his anger towards the being dominated, his idea of like his people being, you know, on the front lines, basically the fodder for the rest of the world, and how basically Khorne is just like feeding out that anger, corrupting him to chaos. And I wonder if, you know, different characters, they might have, you know, like a range of emotions, you know, that can be tempted by the gods. And so you could have, like, in the lore, Isabella von Karstein, she goes mad from Nurgle. Maybe certain characters, you know, are more susceptible to certain chaos gods than others, you know. Maybe let's see, like Karl Franz is really, you know, he can be tempted by Tzeentch or Slaanesh, you know. And that would be really interesting if it gave like a mechanic where your relationships with your agents, with other people, like it could like affect your emotions or your like emotional health, maybe even your psychological health. And if it gets out of control, you can be corrupted by one of the chaos gods. And I wonder if that is a feature here. Granted, I understand it's a lot of speculation, and that was a long explanation of it. But I wonder, I really have a feeling that it might be the case. So, yeah, that's basically my little rundown of this. And again, if we want to look, let's watch this video again. I know people, I think a lot of people really saw the Polish like winged hussars in the first trailer, but I'm going to show you why I think there's more Russian influence than I think some people are going to admit in this video. We're going to watch it one more time, and then I'll end the video. Just to kind of prove my point about that. I'm really sorry. I know some people really want it either to be decidedly Russian or Polish, but I'm trying to tell you what I think it is or what it's going to be, and I hope you can respect it. Like, you can, even if you think I'm wrong, like, I'm not trying to deceive you, you know? Like, it was refreshed. Why is this not happening?
Hello, Total Warhammer fans. The moment you have been waiting for has almost arrived.
Yeah, I think there's going to be a lot more Russian, if you look at these shields, a lot more Russian influence than I think some people thought after the first trailer. Again, I just don't think Kislev is going to be decidedly a culture like you would find with some other aspects of in the Warhammer world. But I think it honestly, the creator, I know I've gotten a lot of people who have just, especially on Reddit, and people who really don't like me saying this, but I think the person was really inspired by like Soviet. I don't mean communism. I just mean the power dynamics of like the Gospodors being, in this case, the Russians, and kind of like, I know it's a Tsardom, but like kind of like this federation system of dominating these other clans in a way. And like you can see that in that resentment, even in the video we watched with you know, those Ungals just really having a lot of resentment towards the Gospodors. And I think it's cool. I think it is cool to have a faction that's not necessarily a united, for a better word, like race or people or culture even. You know, it's interesting, and I think it adds more flavor to the game. But I do understand why some Polish, Ukrainian, and Russian people could perhaps be disappointed by that. Anyway, guys, let me know what you thought of the video. Check out the map. I'm going to be trying to, I think, work on next. I've been working on the main games map. You know, I know we don't have any updates there. But then after we get a version of this, I think I'll try to blitzkrieg and just get the rest of the Mortal Empires map done. At least the filled out part we have already. So anyway, guys, had a lot of fun. See you next time. Bye.